All right, guys, today we're going through the slip. Now, first things first, what is a slip? A slip is a defensive maneuver, looks like this, in order to make a punch miss, okay? Now, typically, if we're talking about slips, the two punches that it predominantly makes miss are the straight punches, which is your jab and your cross. So as you can see from me being in my boxing position, me slightly slipping off the center line, and I'm not traveling too far, but I'm slipping just a few inches, is able to make punches just go by my face. So if I stand this way, you see, if I'm throwing a punch and one comes back, I slip to the side, or the other way, I slip to the side. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, that one was for you. Now, again, going through the slips, the basic mechanics. Now, is it only for slipping straight punches? No, it's not. You know, most of the time that's what it's for, but you can do deeper slips. So I'm going through what slips are used for, and then I'll break down the mechanics. So, again, me slipping to the rear side, I have a small slip, I can get a little bit deeper, and I can get really deep, this is almost bending at the waist rather than being an actual slip, boom, all the way down here. Now, you might be saying, Romie, well, why would I need to slip that low? Well, you have to remember, when people are trying to punch you, they're not just aiming for your head. Sometimes they note that when you jab, or when they jab, you're slipping, and off the jab, they might then throw a hook. So for example, again, if I turn my back to you, if the opponent throws the jab and I slip outside the jab, now my head is in this position. So if they throw the hook, I can get even deeper. So for example, if I was boxing someone and I jab and I notice they've taken their head down, and I might go to throw the hook down, they might come from here down to there. James Toney was excellent at it. Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, they were really good at bending at the waist. So, also going to my left, to my lead side, which is to my right, smaller slip, bigger slip, and a really deep slip. Also good for defending against overhands. Overhand lead hand, overhand rear hand. Now, let's break down the mechanics, because this is the important part. Now, again, the center line you can see here. My feet are either side of the center line. Now, what is the center line? The center line is pretty much the line of fire. Okay, most punches are going to be coming down this line. So it's in your best interest to spend as little time right through the middle as you can. So I like that bit of the old school traditional stance. My weight is shifted slightly off center. My rear hand sits in front of my chin, and my lead hand is a little bit lower. It's the stance I like. Now, let's talk about slipping to the rear. Now, the most important thing is your shoulders. See, the common mistake is that when people are slipping, they're doing this, and there's no rotation of the body. Now, when I'm slipping to the rear, what I want to do is I want to drop my shoulder. I want you to imagine a line going down. So when I slip to the rear, I drop the shoulder. And if I put my hands behind my back, you can see here, I drop the shoulder. And as I drop the shoulder, my weight goes to my back leg. Now this is important. Why? Because if my weight doesn't go to my back leg and my weight goes forward, I don't have much leverage, and you see I can easily fall off balance. So I'm shifting my weight to the back leg. Now, because I have a nice strong base right here, I can really throw my weight onto it. So when I slip, I can do it pretty quick. Boom. And you see I can push back off this leg to get back into position. This is great for countering. So as I slip, I can counter. As I slip, I can counter. Now, same when I'm going to the left. Okay, when I'm slipping to the left, to my lead side, to the right. Now, when I'm going to the lead side, again, you can see I have to rotate the shoulder. If not, I end up tilting over and losing my balance. So it's all about the twist. You want to twist, not lean. So if I give you another example, here if I don't rotate, I end up leaning and I lose my balance. And also when you slip to the lead foot, you don't want to slip. You never want to be over your knee. So if you are doing that, what it means is you're leaning and you're not twisting. So you want to twist. So you can see from the back, I twist. And now notice, in order to twist, I'm turning my back foot. It's a bit awkward if I just twist like this. So you can turn that back foot. So as I twist, boom, now I'm in a good position to counter. Okay, my hips are loaded, my legs slightly on, my weight is slightly on that front foot, and I can come back with a lead hook. I could come with a jab. You know, if I'm being a little bit more fancy, you have your gazelle punches, your gazelle hooks, your gazelle jabs, which is essentially, you know, we're going on a bit of a tangent, but you're leaping forward. So once I slip, I could really drive off that back foot and twist my hips and come with a jab. Boom, I can do it with a hook. Boom. Anyway, that's for another day. Now, going back to the slips and the mechanics of the slip. So what have we gone through so far? The twist of the shoulders, okay, very important. The bend of the legs, okay, you can't slip really without bending the legs. You know, it doesn't work. So you gotta twist, you gotta bend your legs. Now the most important thing is your chin. Your chin has to stay down. Now, it's a little bit tougher for me because my mic's right here, but watch this. If my chin stays in the air, you see, as I'm rotating my shoulders, my head's not really moving. But when I keep my chin down, you see it moves with the shoulders. So very important, your elbows stay tight, your chin stays down. Now, when it comes to moving, okay, you wanna, typically, this isn't all the time, if I take a step with my front foot, I can slip to the lead side. So it's the same side. If I take a step with my right foot, I can slip right. If I take a step with my left foot, I can slip left. So it looks like this. So all I'm basically doing is, just like when we punch, we take a step with the lead foot, we jab, we take a step with the right foot, cross, boom, 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 boom. Our hands and feet move in sync. It's the same thing. Same when we go back. Left, right, left, right. Now, not to confuse you guys, I'm a southpaw. So, you know, my left foot is in the back and my right foot is in the front. Now, we're going to go through the slip. Now, this is I guess it's not a controversial topic, but something you have to understand and something you need to be aware of. Now, when I slip, so for example, slip to the lead side and slip to the rear side, what I'm doing is I'm crossing the center line. You see, I'm going straight across. Now, you have to be a little bit careful here because I'm crossing the line of fire. Let's say, for example, the opponent throws the jab and I slip to this side. So just so you can see from here, they're throwing the jab and I'm slipping to this side. If they're throwing the 1-2 and I go to slip, you see how I'm crossing the center line? And a lot of times you can walk into a right hand or a left hand. You can walk into that cross. So you might be saying, okay, well, what do I do? Well, this is where you want to roll. Now, we're going to break down the roll for another day. I'm just throwing this in there just so you guys are aware. So if I'm slipping, what I want to do is instead of going straight across the line of fire, I want to come down and I come up. And same, if I'm going to my lead side first, if I slip here, I don't want to go straight across. You want to slip and then you want to go down. Now, again, with boxing, I hate when people say, don't do this and don't do that because there's a time and a place for everything. But you have to remember, as long as you're aware of what you're doing, that's the most important thing. So, for example, you might slip while I'm walking back. You know, there's a time and a place to do it. But if you want to be safe, you slip one way, you roll back. And notice when I roll, I slip, the weight's on the front, I roll, the weight's on the back. I slip to the back, I roll to the front. So that is a very, very quick breakdown on how to slip. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So that's pretty much it for the slip. If you guys do like these videos, make sure to like, comment, and share. And I appreciate all the support.